Hey guys, J77 here, just doing a very important topic that hit the entertainment world all last week. Originally, I was meant to talk about it on Wednesday, meant to talk about it again on Thursday and Sunday, but I find it very difficult to talk about this subject for lots of reasons. And for this reason only, I decided to break the rules of how I usually conduct the entertainment roundup and just talk about this story more, not from a news perspective, but more from a personal perspective, because this story reminded me, because I'm keeping it on a personal level in terms of this, how arrogant I was when coming to knowing how serious cancer really is. And for a person who have a family member who's going through something similar, and now realizing just how difficult she is going through with this, both physically, mentally, and financially. It really put a whole new perspective of being educated and knowing the signs early before it's too late. And when it came to Angelina Jolie breaking the news last week, and me finding out about it and hearing a lot of stuff that was going on being said in the media, both related to what was going on with Angelina Jolie, what she's been going through, and stuff I felt that was nowhere important in what she was trying to bring out there. It really brought a whole new perspective in just how dangerous cancer really is, and how it can spread in many different forms and ways. Um, I might as well say right now, because one of the main reasons why I've actually slowed down in video making, including this kind of segment, is because of A, my own financial difficulties, and B, because of what's going on with my sister. My sister is fighting Hodgkin lymphoma, and this is, needless to say, very strenuous thing that she's going through. She actually caught it early, even though it could have been a lot worse had she not was very cautious of her body as well as the signs of what's going on. She's nowhere out of the long haul yet. Financially, it has become a burden, especially when insurances are tying a lot of things up, and well, what's going on in terms of her not being able to work anymore. So it has become strenuous. It has become even painful, and it has taken a toll a lot on the family members. So hearing this and hearing not only just about the gene that Angelina Jolie had, but also hearing about Hodgkin lymphoma, it really put into perspective that I really didn't know about these form of cancers, and I pretty much had to do a better job of actually looking up research. In fact, I have, especially what my sister's been battling, and I found out that yeah, this is very deep. It's very deep. Um, and again, just when you thought you know what you need to know about this, here comes something else to remind you that hey, you need to be very careful. You need to screen yourself. You need to know the risk, especially if it runs in the family. Um, Angelina Jolie case, she found out, I believe, on February of 2007 that she has gotten a gene called BRCA1. There's actually two types, BRCA1 and BRCA2. And the reason why she had gotten herself tested out is because, unfortunately, her mother had passed away from ovarian cancer. This was due to the same gene that Angelina Jolie had discovered she had. According to a lot of reports, it seems to be inherited. It seems to be passed down through generations. And being that she found out, and being the percentage that she found out, I believe 87% chance that she can actually develop breast cancer from this, Angelina Jolie made a very bold, others call it a radical move, to take the steps needed to prevent herself from getting cancer in the future. Now, mind you, they only said that she had an 80% chance of getting it. They didn't say said that she had it. All she had was the gene that actually can cause it. This gene can actually cause other things for men and women. So it's not just a one gender thing. It's both men and women can get this, and it can affect men and women in virtual ways. So that's something that I think everybody should keep in mind. So when she found out, she did a couple of steps. One, she took, I believe they call it a delay, something to that affects the breast milk. And then later on down the road, she actually took procedure to remove both breasts, which later on, a few weeks, I believe about a month later, she had reconstructive surgery to basically repair her breast, to make pretty much reconstruct her breast area so that way for her it could be more presentable. And she's actually comfortable with it. She's actually glad she did it. And again, this was largely due to the fact of the percentage and the fact that her mom had passed away, and that's pretty much all she really need to make that decision. Granted, it was not an easy one, especially for the career she's in. One may say this is probably a career killer. For hopefully this is not. Hopefully, I think that Hollywood can embrace this more than what they usually did with the past with young women who went to have surgery and that ended up costing pretty much almost costing their careers. Jennifer Grey always come to mind. A lot of known actors who pretty much got unsexy to them, pretty much begin to fade away in the spotlight. You will think that it wouldn't happen to Angelina Jolie, but who knows with Hollywood these days. But this is one of the risks that she also have taken career-wise. This could have a very serious effect. But her head is in the right place, in my opinion. She was thinking more about her children, who she has 6 with. She was thinking about her family, her fiance, and pretty much she did decided it was the best thing to do. Brad Pitt, of course, was later quoted saying that what she did was heroic, along with other women who taken this process. Of course, you have other people who are critical of her, saying that she reacted too soon. They need to do that. Blah blah blah. And that's something that it's going to happen. You're always going to have someone who's not in favor of something, even though it has not effect at all towards them. So it's gonna come out regardless. But overall, I think she did the right thing. I think she did the right thing when it comes to her family. She felt she was that she did the right thing when it came to her family, and who am I to argue with that? Again, this is no joke. This BRCA1 and BRCA2 can cause some serious damage. And I read up on this. If I can, let's get this, please. Thank you. I read up on this, and yeah, this is not something you want to play games with. This deadly gene is known as a tumor suppressor. It stands for breast cancer susceptibility gene 1. The harmful, this is what also says here in my notes here, the harmful BRCA1 mutation could also increase a woman's risk of developing cervical, urinary, prostate, and colon cancer. So a lot of stuff can be caused by this. Man is no immune to this either. I said this before. The man can increase the possibility of getting breast cancer, the possibility of pancreatic, testicular, and prostate cancer. And this is something that the man should be also be mindful of. So this is something that is not out of realm for both sexes here, and the fact that is that and more can easily surface up if you're not careful and not keeping check of the risk rate. It can cause great damage, and it can cause a big strain not only towards you but also towards the family. So again, I have no problem with what she did. I have no issues with what she did. And again, my hats off to her. This is something that is an extremely difficult decision. a very personal decision, especially the tragedy that happened some time ago. And but again, she was thinking about her children. She was thinking about her families, and to me, that's more important than pretty much Hollywood, in my opinion. Um, Now, with that, again, this was very, very difficult. Because when I read it, I really, it reminded me a lot about my sister. It really, really did, and how she's gone through. And I had to remind myself to call her or text her to just to check on her, and let her know that somebody's still thinking about her. That there's support out there. If you need anything, just holler at me. Just to remind her that there are people there who loves her, and being with her, because I'm telling you guys, especially for those who's going through it already, it's very, very stressful. It's very, very painful to see a family member go through that. The chemo, in my opinion, I know that they need it to reduce the cancer to pretty much nothing. But honestly, always feel like the chemo is doing more harm than good. Since she took the chemo, she's been in great pain. Sometimes she can't even take the chemo because of the low blood count. So that's always been a strain as well. She can't even afford to get sick. It's very, 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 very stressful. She loves to work. She can't work because of the chemotherapy. And the only good thing, and I know it's crazy this sound, but the only good thing is she's taking it every other week. There are people I know who's going far more worse than that. I heard people taking it almost every day, and I can only imagine the pain and the heartache their family, as well as the person who's taking that chemotherapy, going through. Again, this is me saying this for a lot of reasons, because again, I myself was arrogant as to just how serious this cancer could be, and just how strenuous it can be towards the family, especially when it comes to finance. My family member literally have to fork up money to have her to do these therapies. The doctors pretty much turned her away at one point, almost turned her away at one point, because of the fact her insurance was not covered or has not been activated. And there are people who are supposed to, and I'm saying this straight up because this is actually going on. This is why, as a person who, especially someone who's going through this, you want to make sure you keep those doctors in check, because if you let them do what they want, sometimes they will try and say, oh, we can't do anything until we get payment. New York has this law saying they cannot turn down any treatment, period. But doctors do this anyway. They'll try to get away with it, to the point where they don't even try to give you any assistance to help ease the burden of the expense, which every hospital, especially those who specializes in cancer care, has. Sloan Kettering have done this, which that make me a very happy camper. I'm letting it be known right now. I have a lot of respect for Sloan Kettering. They say they're one of the best, but they too have done this, and it makes me question the morality of some of those doctors in there. Jamaica Hospital have done this. They never gave her the information that she need at all. They even said that she was even denied, which was not true. They even tried to stop her from taking a chemo because she didn't have any money, any fundings to pay for it. It wasn't for my nephew, who pretty much was very hot-tempered and made it very clear that if he wasn't getting any treatment, he's going to tear that place apart, which I could only imagine. She would not have been seen. They finally got her to seeing her, and so far they haven't really done anything stupid. So luckily, this time she's going through a therapy on time and on schedule. But the point was that this is kind of the crap that a lot of people go through when dealing with this kind of thing, and it's really unfortunate, and it makes things a lot worse, especially for those who cannot afford to get stressed out, cannot afford to go through that strenuous things. And again, those who know what I'm talking about hearing this knows full well what I'm talking about. And again, this is me saying it because, again, I did not realize just how strenuous. I knew it was tough. I knew that something is not a laughing matter. I knew that anyone that have cancer is something to be taken very seriously. but I never knew just how serious this is. There's an old saying that you never knew how deep something is until you actually, some member of your own family has gone through it. This is one of them, and it was strenuous for everyone. Everyone is trying to stay in high spirit, of course. We don't want to show the upsetness that we have, but it is very difficult, and this is one of the things that we literally have to do. We have to be strong, not only for her, but for everyone who is trying to, show that everything is okay. But it's very, very tough. It's very, very hard. And for me, especially with what I was going through in my personal life, it is very, very hard. So when I heard this story, and again, I had this story, I had three other stories, which I did record it, but I never really brung it out. I really didn't feel right about bringing it out. I really didn't have the fortune to bring it out. And the reason why I really felt that the Angelina Jolie story should stand on its own. And it really is a standalone story because it is a story that is pretty much remarkable in my opinion. It really is. It is something that, I'll be honest, I didn't ask Angelina Jolie to do. And the fact she kept it quiet for as long as she did, because even her own family members, some of her family members did not know about it. Her father was kept in the dark, and a lot of people say that's because of the fallout she had with him. They did make amends. They did see each other. They celebrated her brother's birthday. But even with that being said, she never hinted anything was wrong. No one ever hinted it. The media didn't pick up on any of this. Didn't pick up she was going to the doctor. Didn't pick up she was pretty much missing anything. She really kept it under wraps, and I pretty much guess because she went to a daily routine and that's it. And she really does keep her life as private as possible, even though the media continues, and even what this story tries to poke in is when he's going to get married, or they get married today. But in this case, she really kept it quiet. And when she finally opened up about it, it was stunning. It was something that just blew everything out of the water. So it really caught me by surprise, and I was really eager to know about this story. Out of every story that I heard in entertainment, this was the one I wanted to hear because it had an important message behind it, and I'm glad I read the story. Daily News, which I bought the paper just for the sole purpose of hearing more. The Daily News did a great article on the story. They did a great article of the timeline, when did this happen, and leading up to the final, leading up to finally her telling her story. I think she told it with the New York Times. They actually brought more information about this gene, the BRCA1, BRCA2, which allowed me to do a lot more research on the gene. So they did a very good job, and I continue to follow the story through virtual websites that CNN News, Huffington Post, and the more I read about it, the more I was stunned and admired by her decision. This is something that that I felt I was actually happy she really came forward to, because now I know something I did not know about. Especially this type of gene. I did not know this gene existed. I never heard of this before until last week, and I said, okay, I need to know more about this because this is something I never heard of. And by her coming forward about this, I'm pretty sure a lot of people who was kept in the dark about this gene now knows what this gene is and what to look for, and how to make sure this doesn't affect them. And that's the important thing I got from this article. That's the important thing I got from this story. There is one thing that if I got any gripe or rant, if you want to call it, that I felt almost overshadowed the overall message of what Angelina Jolie was trying to send out, and why she brought it out, is the fact is that even with this story, there's still people out there hoping that now this will push to get her to get married. And I felt, really, guys, are you not going to use this as a battle cry for them to finally get married? We already know they're engaged. Can we please be happy for that? And look, without going too far into the situation, I'll just go on and say this. We know they're engaged. We know they're going to get married soon. If they get married, if they do decide to get married, that's great. Fine. I'll be more 100% supportive of it. I'll be happy for them. But it has to be because they're ready, not because the fans or feel they should be ready or what the media says they should do. It should be because they're ready to do it. They feel comfortable finally doing it, and they're willing to do it at a certain such date. That should be a family issue, not something that the fans want or what the media want. And I kind of have this I get this feeling a lot, especially with this two couple, that a lot of people want to get married for the wrong reasons. I could be wrong, but that's what I've been getting a lot. And I feel that, especially with this story, there's a certain bit of a selfishness that comes out when people start, bringing that back up, especially when it's already been reported they've been engaged. There's a certain thing about, well, they're not a complete family until they're actually married. Now they can officially be a family. I'm sorry, but marriage is not the main definition of being a family. To me, the last 8 years they've been together, that they've been a family. The only thing that's different is, in fact, let me just go on and say it. To me, even though they're not got the marriage papers, they're married. 8 years they gave to each other. You just can't just say that don't count. That's just my own opinion. The only difference between that and them getting married is they don't have the marriage papers. That's it. But to me, they've been together 8 years. They got 6 kids, I believe, six children. To me, they're a family. To me, they're just as much of a married couple as a person who gets married for 6 months and then all of a sudden what happened. So just keep that in mind. I think people need to leave that alone a little bit. Leave that alone. If they get married, fine. I'd be happy for them. But it has to be because they want to. If they don't get married, that's fine too. Hey, they're already shown that you don't have to have a wedding ring to make a family. That's just my opinion, and that's the only thing I'm going to talk about in that situation. And you can disagree or agree if you want. That's fine, but that's just my own opinion. And that's it. But overall, let's put that the marriage talk aside. I feel that this was an excellent. I feel that Angelina Jolie is a brave woman myself. I think that she coming out about this was great. Very important, because now I got new information about something I didn't know about, as well as being more aware of these type of genes and the effects they have. And so I salute Angelina Jolie for speaking about it and making people be aware of something like this, because I guarantee you that a lot of people who have read this or even listening to this did not even know this gene exists. I'm just saying. But in any case, that's pretty much it. We'll talk about the other events down the road. I did saw the Billboard Awards. Unfortunately, yeah, I'm not very impressed with the Billboard Award, guys. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not very impressed. There are some good elements, but I'll get to that in another video, another time. But for now, I just wanted to make this the main topic, and I'll talk about the other one at no later than probably Wednesday or Thursday. But for now, this is J77 saying take care, be safe. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for giving me your feedback, and I'll talk to you soon.